your review of the reasonableness of the use of force, it was unreasonable for the officers to put Mr. Floyd in the prone position at all, period, correct?
Yes. At that point, he did not present a threat to the officers or their interests. He did not present a threat of escape. The officers used some amount of force to put him into the car, and I have no issue with that. But putting him in the prone position, especially on the street side of the car, was unreasonable and excessive and contrary to generally accepted police practices.
Reasonable minds can disagree, agreed?
On this particular point, no.
Okay, so Sergeant Steiger, who testified earlier, did you have an opportunity to review his testimony?
I believe yes, I did.
And so his assessment that it was reasonable for the officers to use the prone position in that time, at that time, you would disagree with him?
I disagree. I think putting someone prone is unreasonable there. They are already handcuffed. The prone position is a transitory position used to restrain someone, handcuffs, or I suppose hobbles. In this case, officers took Mr. Floyd out of the car, put him on his knees, and then put him onto his side. And again, if they had stopped there, I would not have any quibble with their actions.
Now, you testified that you described the prone position as transitory in nature.
It is, yes, for 30 years or so, it's been generally accepted that that is a transitory position for the purposes of handcuffing or securing.
Are there ever situations where officers would keep a person in the prone position longer than a transitory nature?
There shouldn't be. The putting someone in the recovery position is literally a matter of rotating them 90 degrees onto their side. Officers can maintain as much or almost as much control over the individual. So while I suppose it's hypothetically possible, you know, if there's, I don't know, if gunfire breaks out and the officers are laying on someone to protect them with their body, maybe, but certainly not in this case.
So in your academic endeavors, you submitted a opinion piece to the Washington Post. Do you recall that?
Specific to this case, I don't know, close to 30 op-eds at this point. So,
on May 29th of 2020, an article appeared in the Washington Post, authored by Seth Stoughton. That's you, right?
Stoughton, but
Stoughton,
yes.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Jeffrey Noble, that's the person you wrote the book with, right?
Yes, one of the two individuals.
Yep, and Jeffrey Alpert, right?
The other co-author of the book, yes.
And so you wrote, officers might need to hold someone down in the prone position, but they should do so by putting their shin across the subject's upper back, not the neck. Do you disagree with that?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Overruled. Are you asking me if I wrote that?
Correct.
I did, yes, referring to handcuffing.
Pressing on someone's neck risks damaging the cervical spine or breaking the hyoid bone, which can be fatal.
Yes.
And this was an opinion that you had formulated. Your opinion piece was from 4 days after this incident?
That, yes, it was based on the review, as I think I write in the first or second paragraph of the opinion, the limited information that was available at that time.
Right. And so at that point, it's fair to say that you had already formed the opinion based on that limited information that this was an unreasonable use of force.
I think it's fair to say that I had formed the opinion that putting your knee across someone's neck, except in absolutely unbelievably rare circumstances, is generally an inappropriate use of force. This is an application of that generally accepted practice. Of course, as I reviewed all of the materials in this case, some of the opinions that I discussed at the bottom of that op-ed changed, and this was not one of them. The additional information confirmed that the knee across the neck was inappropriate and that the prone restraint was inappropriate.
Was the knee, in your opinion, across the neck throughout the entire 9 minutes and 29 seconds?
From my perspective, that's irrelevant. The knee should never be on the neck. It was certainly on the neck for a majority of the time, even if it was moved off of the neck at certain points.